Sit down. We're so excited to be here back in Jerusalem, back in the state of Israel. We are kind of all around the globe this week. We started in Japan. We were in Korea. We're here. We'll be finishing in the United Kingdom. And part of that is we've got a lot of opportunities to advance Florida with trading partners. We are in Florida, the fastest growing state in the United States. We've led the United States in net in-migration every year since I've been governor. And my message for a lot of the folks around the world is just, you're seeing this migration internally in the United States with Florida, Texas, Tennessee, other states, attracting wealth, attracting individuals, and that trend's going to continue. And so the countries and the businesses that are involved in a place like Florida, there's a lot of upside to doing that. And Israel is ahead of the curve on that. We had our major trade mission in 2019 here, which was really historic. I mean, we had a massive delegation. We ended up signing more than 20 MOUs between universities, research centers, government agencies with their Israeli counterparts. And so that's everything from medical to space and just about anything in between. And so this has been a really historic partnership. We've seen merchandise trade grow dramatically since I've been governor, and bilateral trade between Florida and Israel last year was over $650 million. That's a big deal, particularly given the size of Israel. So we're excited to be here today. We're fortunate to be able to have some announcements. So I'm going to go through those, and then we'll take some questions. When we began planning the trade mission, I wanted to come here to meet with some cutting-edge companies, and I'm happy to be making 3 announcements that will further strengthen the economic relationship between Israel and Florida. So the first one is we are going to be I'm announcing a joint declaration between Florida, the Israel Innovation Authority, and the Israel-American Chamber of Commerce. This declaration will promote greater cooperation, strategic partnerships, and trade and investment between Israel and Florida by exploring avenues for economic and business collaboration with a special emphasis on the healthcare industry. And our trip in 2019 has already paid dividends with Israeli companies that are involved in different parts of Florida. We think there's a lot more meat on the bone, and this is really going to help us facilitate that. Second, I'm announcing a joint venture between Avenger Flight Group, which is based in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and El Al Israel Airlines. So this is going to be a multi-million-dollar partnership. And it will build the next generation flight training center in Israel with state-of-the-art simulators provided by Avenger Flight Group. So this will create high-paying jobs both for Floridians and for Israelis. Third, I'm announcing that Florida Atlantic University and the Israel-based company Insight Tech have signed a MOU to collaborate on neuroscience research activities. FAU and Insight Tech will specifically explore research related to novel therapies that benefit brain health and accelerate treatments for neurological diseases like Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. Insight Tech will also be providing access to a state-of-the-art brain cancer treatment to Florida this year. This partnership is part of what my wife, Casey, has created in Florida called the Cancer Connect Collaborative Initiative, and it's designed to break down barriers to innovate cancer treatments and research in Florida. So I'd like representatives from those you want to have come up here and be recognized. If you guys want to say a word or two, come on up. So we've got El Al, we've got the folks from Insight Tech. So come on up. So who wants to go first? Anyone want to say anything?
Well, you're bringing everyone back and
Go
forth.
ahead. Yep.
Thank you very much. And a very good morning, Governor. My governor, as a very proud Floridian, and also one that's charged with the responsibility of looking after El Al throughout the entire North American, South American continent. We are very proud to call Florida our regional headquarters for all of North America and South America. We just recently moved because of the business-friendly state and all of the many things that Florida has to offer. We've moved our headquarters after more than 50 years to the state of Florida. And with that, we're also expanding our air service, as the governor mentioned. Florida will be the only state in the United States where El Al serves 2 different airports, and that's because of the growing demand, the growing traffic, and the relationship in many different facets between Israel and the United States, and specifically Florida. So we're very honored, and I think most importantly, as the governor announced, the initiative and our partnership with Avenger Flight Group to build the Flight Training Center here. I think most of us feel very, very comfortable in knowing that we are flying when we're traveling on El Al with the most disciplined, with the most skilled airmen in the skies. And a lot of that has to do with their Israeli military training. But beyond that now, we can further enhance that by bringing home here to Israel the most sophisticated simulator devices and training centers that will further augment the skill of our airmen and their superiority in airmanship. So, Governor, thank you very much. Thank you for everything that's been done, for Enterprise Florida, for assisting us in growing that relationship. We're committed to building the bridge even wider and stronger with the most seats, the most flights, and absolutely the most Jewish heart in service to Israel. Thank you very much.
Good job.
Congratulations.
So we're excited. I mean, think about it. You'll have airports. I don't know the exact mileage, Miami International, Fort Lauderdale, but it's like 30 miles away, and you have direct flights from both of those places. And part of it is, yes, Florida's good for business, but part of it is, we've really seen a historic migration of American Jews and Israeli Americans moving to southern Florida. I mean, you look at some of these communities like a Ball Harbor, Surfside. You look at Boca Raton. Yeah, some of you probably have places there. I mean, it's really, really boomed, and I think Florida's policies has really reinforced that. Everything from being really strong against things like BDS, but also doing things like school choice. We're now, because of legislation I signed last month, every Florida parent is going to have access to a scholarship where their kids can go to the school of their choice. So for a Jewish family that wants a Jewish education, but they may not have enough money to be able to do that by themselves, they now have the ability to utilize that program in an even more robust way than in the past. And so that's very attractive to a lot of people. So we've really seen people vote with their feet, and I think those communities are humming as a result. Okay, Insight Tech.
Governor, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
You've kept the state of Florida free and open, and that has led to our success in Florida. And from the 2019 trade mission that you led, that I was great honored to be part of, we were able to grow a partnership. Insight Tech focuses on incisionless brain surgery using focus ultrasound. And through this partnership, we've placed $15 million to date of technology across the state of Florida at no cost, with the university systems and the hospital systems to be able to accelerate discoveries for next generation treatments for these brain diseases. Thank you for your commitment.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I just can't, it's just somebody, and there's a lot of great stuff going on in the United States and in other countries, but I'd say, pound for pound, the amount of innovation that's being done here in Israel is really second to none. I mean, it's incredible. And so we made a strategic decision in 2019 to get here, fly Florida's flag, let them know we want to be part of that, and we're seeing that, and not just with the brain, which is very important, especially when we talk about Alzheimer's in Florida. But I mentioned in my speech, we found a company that does things that combat algal blooms, and so this is something that we're working on in Florida. And so you have Israeli company now in Lake Okeechobee, halfway around the world fighting our algal blooms. And so it's been something that's really, really been positive. So I want to thank everyone that's been involved, and we look forward to even more good things to come in the future. Now, I'm also going to sign a couple measures. I'm going to sign a bill that the Florida legislature has recently passed, and I'm going to sign a proclamation from the state of Florida. So do we have our representatives here? Randy Fine and Caruso, you guys come on up. So Florida has really led, and a lot of it is because of these representatives, led the fight against anti-Semitism, particularly in our public institutions like universities. Unfortunately, in the United States, the universities have become hotbeds for this type of thinking. And through Randy's effort and Mike's efforts and other members of the legislature, we were able to push back on that in 2019. We also, though, this year had an opportunity, the legislature saw an opportunity to take even more actions to combat anti-Semitism. You in the United States, You have a constitutionally protected right to say whatever you want, no matter how distasteful it is, no matter how hateful it is, and that's just the way it is. But you don't have a right to threaten people. You don't have a right to harass people. You don't have a right to intimidate somebody, particularly on the basis of somebody's religious affiliation or whether they may be wearing a kippah. That is different than just expressing your opinion. And so we have looked, I think the legislature looked, okay, what can we do in Florida to enhance the ability to hold people accountable when they're not just giving an opinion, however distasteful it is, but when that really crosses the line into threatening conduct. And that's what the legislature has done. This is going to provide more tools to be able to combat anti-Semitic activity, including things like, you know, if you have a synagogue and someone shines a swastika-like image on that, you know, they have a right to do the image for themselves, but putting it on someone else's property, they're defining that this bill is a trespass, and you could be held accountable for infringing on somebody else's property rights. And so what they're doing is really saying, okay, obviously, we're going to uphold the First Amendment, and there's just no way around that. And honestly, you're much better off just having everything be protected than try to pick and choose. But when you have this type of conduct, what can you do? So now there's going to be more tools to be able to do that. So I want to commend both the legislators for being involved, and they came all the way to Israel to bring the bill here, and we're going to be able to sign the bill here in Israel, and that will be on the books in Florida momentarily. I'm also going to sign a proclamation to celebrate the 75th anniversary of Israel's independence and to highlight the important relationship between Florida and Israel. I was able to give a speech here at the Museum of Tolerance earlier, and I think if you look back at the dawn of the modern Jewish state, there were huge odds. I mean, everything was basically stacked against these folks. I mean, it was really just a ragtag group of people that wanted a Jewish state, and I think the good money would have been, this is just not going to work, right? They fought, they persevered, they faced probably more challenges than any people have faced over the last 75 years, and not only have they been able to meet those challenges and surmount the challenges, you know, you now have the only democracy in this region, humming economy, innovation, and really, I think, a sign of hope for people all across the world. And so in Florida, we're proud to be playing a small role in Israel's development with this great relationship that we have. And it's not just based on interests. Yes, the economy stuff's good, this innovation, it's good. I think it's going to end up saving a lot of lives in Florida, and that's really significant. But it also is rooted in shared values. It's rooted in cultural and religious affinities. And I think that we have, if you go in the winter in South Florida, I think we probably have the largest Jewish population in the winter, probably, of anyone in the country, but certainly close if it's not the top. And so that's just something that we're proud of and want to continue to do it. So I'm going to go put my John Hancock on these two. So you guys want to come over? All right. So first we're going to do the proclamation. State of Florida recognizing Independence Day, 75th anniversary. Great day, great momentous week. And now we have the bill to combat anti-Semitism and other types of conduct. And today's date is, what's today's date? Hey, that's in the books. We're fighting back. You all want a pen? Anyone else want a pen? One of the pens? Okay. Who else? All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Governor.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Thank
Yeah,
you so
thanks so
much.
much.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Yep. All righty.